From Little Debbie to Hostess and so much more. If you like snack cakes, have I got a video for you. Hello, goblins and goblinettes. Welcome back to another edition of Destined to be Goblin. Destined Goblin here. This is where I will try a food product of some kind, maybe something you didn't even know existed, and I will decide whether or not I should give it my Destined Goblin seal of approval. I have been gathering some new snack cakes for a little while now, and I've got 7 of them today, so we should probably just dive right in and get started on them. I'll try to keep this video down in length as much as possible, but no guarantees. There's a lot to go over here. I've got all different kinds of brands. I've got Little Debbie, I've got Hostess, I've got Wonder, lots of different stuff here. I've even got a moon pie, so we're just going to dive in and get started on this. I do have Mini loaded up with some nice cold water here. I was going to put some milk in this because I figured, you know, what goes better with a snack cake than a glass of milk? But then I started thinking about all the calories that I'm going to get just from these cakes. And I figured, you know, I'm not going to add any more with some milk. So I got water in here as a palate cleanser in between. I'm not even sure where to get started, but I'm just going to grab something and away we go. Okay, we've got 2 from Hostess, so I guess we will start with Hostess. These are cupcakes, this first one. These are Sundae cupcakes. This is a limited edition. It says that these are frosted chocolate cake with a creamy filling. So it's basically the regular chocolate cupcake, but supposedly this is something about this is supposed to make this taste like a sundae. I guess we'll see if this tastes any different. This is 350 calories for this whole pack, so we will see what the flavor's like on this first one. I was originally planning on holding off for a little while on these because there are a few more new snack cakes that are coming out that I haven't been able to find yet. But the stuff just kind of kept piling up, and I thought, you know what, I should probably do this. So here we go with the Hostess Sundae cupcake. So you can see it looks very much like the regular Hostess cupcake, but it does have some sprinkles on it. Now, if that's the only thing that makes this a sundae cupcake, then it's probably not that much to get excited about, but let's see. And unfortunately, it does seem to be the only thing that makes this different. There is the filling. It is that creamy white filling like you get in the regular Hostess cupcakes. The flavor is very much like a regular chocolate cupcake. I guess maybe there's a little bit of an extra crunch from the sprinkles, but it's nothing that really makes much of a difference. And you can see that I don't know if the camera's really going to pick that up or not, but the frosting is a little bit different coloration than the white frosting that you'll see on some of the cupcakes. And of course, it's not the chocolate frosting or anything like that. But I don't know. This one's pretty much just a regular Hostess cupcake. Nothing to really rush out for as far as this one goes. Okay, we got one more from Hostess. We're going to go there next. All right, so here's another cupcake. This one is brand new, as you can see there. And these are frosted sugar cookie cake with a creamy filling. So we'll see. I mean, there's a picture of a sugar cookie, and there is a picture of the cupcake. These are 170 calories for one cupcake, and these do have the original squiggle. So in case that's something that you really want to see, that original squiggle, it does have this. Let's just see what we get here. I will be the first to admit that I am not a huge fan of sugar cookies. I do tend to prefer chocolate chip cookies, but we'll see how the flavor is on this cupcake. Okay, so individually packaged, of course. And we've got sprinkles on these. And I suppose that's supposed to be a sugar cookie frosting. Let's see. It smells very much just like a regular cupcake. Nothing yet is giving me sugar cookie vibes so far, but we'll see what the taste is like. So this doesn't necessarily remind me of a sugar cookie as far as the actual cupcake, but the frosting kind of reminds me of a frosted sugar cookie. It is that sweeter, sugary, very sugary kind of frosting. Um, the cupcake is a little bit denser, I think, than some of the other cupcakes that you'll get. But I don't know that this really reads sugar cookie to me. It's not bad. Just not anything that I would rush out for either here. Okay, well, that's 2 down, and I would say 2 kind of mediocre so far. We'll see if things trend upward after that. All right, we are sticking with cupcakes, but we are moving to Wonder. Now, Wonder is one of my favorite brands of bread. Always had Wonder as a kid, always got Wonder bread. Now they've got a line of snack cakes. This is a chocolate cupcake that they have, and you can see they obviously don't have the squiggle, but they do have sprinkles. These are 200 calories for one cupcake. And a little saying on the back says, a cupcake without sprinkles is like a night without stars. Okay, sure. And again, individually wrapped. And I will say that there are a ton of sprinkles on these cupcakes. Very chocolatey aroma on this one. I'm kind of excited to try this one. This smells really good. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a bit of a beef with me. First of all, I like the flavor. It's very chocolatey. It's very densely chocolate. It's very dark chocolate. Flavor is great. The icing is a little bit of a different flavor of chocolate than the actual cupcake. So really nice flavor there. And then you get a little crunch from the sprinkles too. The beef I have with this is that I took a pretty big bite, as you can see right there. Got nowhere close to the filling. So let me take a couple of more bites, see exactly how much filling is in here. Okay, there's a couple of things that are going to lose points with me right here. First of all, second big bite, finally got to the center. That little area is the whole center, the whole filling right there. The cream is not that nice, fluffy, light cream. It's thick, almost like an icing. It's very similar to the icing that's on top of it. So you get kind of this grainy sugariness in your mouth as you're chewing it, and it's not as pleasant as it could be. The flavor is great on this. I have a little bit of a problem with the texture on some of this. Well, the cupcakes were not great, but the good news is we're done with the cupcakes. All right, we're going to move over to Moon Pie. I'm going to save the one that I'm most excited for last. This is one that I have seen kind of floating around. I've seen some other people review this a while ago. This has been out for a while. I just came across it now. This is a moon pie, and it is a blueberry moon pie. Now, I am not the biggest fan of moon pies. I don't hate them by any means. I enjoy moon pies. I just never get them. I tend to, if I'm looking for a snack cake, there are other things that I will go to before I go to a moon pie, but nothing against them. 290 calories for this whole moon pie. Okay, wow. First of all, there's a couple of things here. First of all, 290 calories, but this thing is enormous. Look at the size of this. I feel like this is bigger than the regular moon pies. There's 3 layers. Actually, if you want to count the fillings, there's more than 3 layers. But I don't recall regular moon pies having that many layers. Maybe they do. I don't eat them that often. I'm not sure. This smells very much like blueberry. That is one thing I will say, is that it very authentically smells like blueberry. I'm going to take a bite right from there. You can see all that marshmallow in the middle there. I'm going to try to get a bite right here and see if the blueberry flavor is there. So this one is kind of interesting. The blueberry flavor kind of kicks in towards the end. As you initially bite into it and initially start chewing, you get that marshmallow, you get that graham cracker, you get a nice little combination of flavors, and then towards the end, you start to get that blueberry flavor. And the blueberry flavor is actually not bad on this. Sometimes, blueberry is one of those tricky ones. You can get very authentic, natural blueberry flavor, or you can really get that artificial blueberry flavor. Strawberry is another one that happens to a lot. This is closer to the authentic blueberry flavor, I think, than the artificial blueberry flavor. So this is not too bad. I think maybe one of the reasons I don't get moon pies a lot is because I'm not a huge fan of marshmallows. I don't have anything against them. I like marshmallow as an ingredient in things, but when it's really the center of attraction for an item, it tends to not be my favorite. So, like I said, I don't have anything against moon pies. I just don't get them very often, but that's pretty good flavor. All right, now we come to my old nemesis. And if you have been watching me for a while, and you know that we're talking about snack cake brands, you may be able to guess which one this is. That, of course, is Cake Bites. These things have probably disappointed me more than any other brand. I think there have maybe been one or two that I've actually liked, and the majority of them just really let me down. This one, however, is Snickers. Now, that sounds interesting. We've got nougat-flavored cake with Snickers pieces. So there's actually Snickers pieces in here. And roasted peanuts, caramel filling, and a rich milk chocolate coating. Now, if you remember, the successful ones that I have tried, as far as Cake Bites go, have been those ones that have either had a different flavor of cake than the vanilla, or they've had a different kind of filling than just the regular vanilla or chocolate, whatever. The ones that have had the jelly in there have been pretty good. The ones that have different flavors of cake have been pretty good. This one has nougat, or it has Snickers, rather, actual Snickers pieces, and it's got a nougat flavored cake. Potentially this one could be great. We'll see if they pull it off or not. There are 4 packs in here, and each package is 220 calories for the pieces that are inside. All right, so we've seen these before. That looks like the regular kind of package that we've seen. And just like we've seen before, we get the little tray with the 3 pieces on the inside. And let's just pull one of those out. So there we go. Let's see if I can kind of prop that up on there and give you a little bit closer look at that. Maybe on that side, you can see that filling. Snickers Cake Bites. Don't let me down this time, Cake Bites. Oh! This might be the best flavor of Cake Bites I have ever tried. That tastes just like a Snickers bar in cake form. That is delicious. That may truly be the best flavor of Cake Bites I have come across yet. You get a crunch from the peanut. You get, I think the pieces of Snickers may be pretty small in there, but you can tell that there are some pieces of candy bar in there. You get crunch again from those peanuts. You get that caramel flavor, and the cake itself does have that nougat flavor like you would get in the very center of the Snickers bar. That tastes very much like a soft cake version of a Snickers bar. That is great. That is delicious. All right, we will be moving on. Okay, we're staying with Cake Bites, and this is something new. This is something that I have never seen before. I didn't even know these were coming out. These are called Cake Bites Supremes. So there you go. They're by Cake Bites. There were different flavors of this, and I can't remember what the other flavors were. Let's see. It doesn't really say on this box either. This one is frosted chocolate chip cookie dough, as you can see right there. 3 layers of cake, more filling, more frosting. And it says chocolate chip cake, chocolate flavored cream, milk chocolatey coating, drizzled white icing. So, yeah, okay. I mean, look at that. One thing I will say about Cake Bites, the product itself is pretty. The packaging is fantastic. A lot of times they will tie in popular culture themes. We've seen superheroes, we've seen Star Wars, we've seen all kinds of stuff come from Cake Bites. So they've got great marketing as far as wrapping their product. They just don't always deliver on the flavor as far as I'm concerned. So Snickers, that was an exception. We'll see if these Supremes are anything or not. It says Anatomy of a Supreme. Vanilla cakes with chocolate chips, chocolate-flavored cream, drizzled white icing, and milk chocolatey coating. So basically what we were seeing on the front of that package just kind of presented and pointed out what everything is there. And these are 160 calories for one package. So I guess these are individually packaged in here as well. Well, I didn't expect this. I knew they were going to be individually packaged, but these are tiny little packages. I'm assuming there's maybe 2 in here, maybe 3, but I don't think there's 3. It is actually 1. So it is just 1 inside there. So that is basically like 2 Cake Bites that are put together, pretty much. So about the size of 2 pieces of Cake Bites put together. And this is frosted chocolate chip cookie dough, right? Frosted? Yeah, frosted chocolate chip cookie dough. Okay. Mm. Wow. That is about 100 times the flavor of anything that Cake Bites has ever put out. What has happened to Cake Bites? I think they've figured some things out here. You can see all the chocolate chips in there. You get a crunch from those chocolate chips. You also get a couple of different textures in there. Now, I know that it's just cake that's in there, but there's almost like a cookie crunchiness to it. This is good. This is impressive. The Snickers Cake Bite was delicious. This might be better than that. I cannot even begin to tell you how impressed I am with Cake Bites. In a big snack cake video like this, where we've got all different kinds of brands, all different kinds of snack cakes, we're trying to pick out what's the best. Cake Bites is leading. I almost believed that Cake Bites is going to be on the very bottom, of course. No, right now they're at the very top. All right, we have 1 to go, and this is the one I've been waiting for. Okay, if you are a fan of Little Debbie, and if you like peanut butter, I can almost guarantee you like Nutty Buddies. That is one of my favorite all-time Little Debbie snack cakes. Little Debbie is now coming out with a couple of different kinds of Nutty Buddies. First of all, we've got Nutty Buddy cream pies. I've been waiting for this one for a while. Now, I said I was trying to hold off on doing this video because I know that there's some other snack cakes that are coming out. There's another Nutty Buddy pie that's going to be coming out, and it looks very much like a Twinkie. And it's going to have that Nutty Buddy flavor to it with a cream filling inside of the cake also. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I guess that's coming out later because I have not been able to find that one yet. All right, I am adding in this footage actually since I filmed the rest of this video. I was going to do this as a short, but then, I thought, well, you know what, I haven't released that video yet, so I'll just slip it in, even though it's going to make the video even longer. But they came out. These were the other cakes that I was talking about. These are the Nutty Buddy cakes from Little Debbie. So they're doing a lot of different things here with their Nutty Buddy flavor. And these are supposed to be very similar to Twinkies. Think about that. If this actually ends up tasting like a Nutty Buddy flavored Twinkie, this is going to be fantastic. Let's see what we get on these. These are 170 calories for one of these Nutty Buddy cakes. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so there are 10 of them in that package, and they do look similar to a Twinkie. They're a little bit smaller, though, and of course coated in chocolate. Okay, and a closer look. Lots of chocolate all over them. They do smell very peanut buttery. Is that a word? Lots of peanut butter aroma coming off of this. Wow, that smells really good. Let's see what we get. Wow, that's pretty good. There's a lot of chocolate flavor. There's a lot of peanut butter flavor. I don't know how much this reminds me of a Nutty Buddy just because there's nothing crunchy to this. There's also a little bit of a different flavor than that traditional Nutty Buddy flavor. The cake itself, the sponge cake in the middle there, similar to a Twinkie. Obviously, the cake itself is very similar to a Twinkie, and yet it's different. It's denser, it's a different flavor, and there's actually not a whole lot of flavor coming off of that cake itself. Most of the flavor comes off of that peanut butter and the chocolate, which is really good. I've been waiting a long time for these to come out. When I first heard about them, that they were coming out at some point, and I think the wait was definitely worth it. These are good. This one is soft peanut butter cookies with a chocolatey coating and a peanut butter cream. So we'll see if this accurately has that Nutty Buddy flavor, because you can't just say, okay, it's Nutty Buddy, we're putting the same combinations of flavors. We're putting peanut butter and chocolate together. We're just going to call it Nutty Buddy. No, it needs to remind me of a Nutty Buddy because you're calling it a Nutty Buddy cream pie. So let's see what happens here. 390 calories for one cookie. Wow. So there is a little bit of history on the back here. That's kind of cool. And let's see if there's anything interesting. 1959 is when Nutty Buddy bars have come out, or first came out. So 60 years right now, over 60 years they've been out. So actually they predate the Little Debbie brand, which was not introduced until 1960. I did not know that. Each Nutty Buddy bar has 4 crispy wafers, and we know that. In 2016, Nutty Bars, so they were first called Nutty Bars, and in 2016, they became Nutty Buddy. I feel like they were Nutty Buddy longer than before 2016, but okay. And then, of course, since 2015, at Christmas time, they have been putting out the North Pole version of these as well. So apparently they were called Nutty Bars before 2016, and then they became Nutty Buddy. I could have swore when I was a kid I was eating Nutty Buddy bars, but I guess maybe they were just Nutty Bars. Individually wrapped, of course. Wow, that is a big snack cake. I can see where the 390 calories comes in. It's a little bit soft here, too. A little bit, the chocolate's melting a little bit. And you can see it's got that patterning like you get on the Nutty Buddy bars. So I can see some cream in the center there. There's the peanut butter cream. Okay, here we go. Been waiting for this one. Wow. Wow, the flavor on that, 1000% Nutty Buddy bar without the crunch. If you've ever had a Nutty Buddy bar, and I bet you have, you know what I'm talking about. You know what that flavor is. That flavor is there without the crunch behind it of the wafer, obviously. And if you like the oatmeal pies that Little Debbie puts out, any of that kind of snack, that's the texture that you get just with that Nutty Buddy flavor. This is great. Okay, ratings time. This is a hard one because there's nothing uniform here. If I were to go through and individually rate everything, I would probably give out all of my ratings. I would give a no seal of approval. I would give a seal with no stars. I'd do a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. Maybe not a 4. I don't know if anything's exactly perfect. But as far as the cupcakes go, nothing all that special to write home about. They're not bad. I did kind of like the flavor of the Wonder over the Hostess cupcakes, but I did not like the amount of filling that was in the Wonder. Moon pie was good. It wasn't anything spectacular. The Nutty Buddy bars, the Nutty Buddy pies, I should say, I enjoy that a lot. I can see myself going through that whole box, but it's not the top. I would probably end up saying, if I was going to base everything on that, I would probably give that a 2-star seal of approval. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the big winner is Cake Bites. Both of these are excellent, and both of these are 3-star seal of approval. All right, there we go. If you are a fan of prepackaged snack cakes, if you like these kinds of snacks, check the shelves in your grocers' stores where they sell all of these types of cakes, because there's a lot of new stuff out there. This is by no means the only new stuff that's out there right now. There's a lot of new stuff. There's more coming out. Try these for yourselves. I will catch you next time.